Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and then start a model kit and of course to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego to the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, well, you can go ahead and lurk and you don't have to say anything. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. Reminder to folks that we're currently in bonus days here. Up until January 22nd, any new subscriber gets a 25% discount on subs. And we're currently at 39 out of 50. The goal is 50. I shut up at 50. We're at 39. That's okay. Also, gift subs will go on sale December 27th. And up until December 20th, which is, in 2 days, if you cheer 300 or more bits, I get bonus bits. It's not a discount for you. It's just extra for me. Your bits go farther, and that's fun. It's a fun thing. Get on board with it. Tonight might be a chill evening. We're going to work on some Lego. Then we're going to work on a kit that Aristofan bought off my Amazon wish list, which was incredibly kind of Aristofan for doing. So thank you to Aristofan, who's not here right now. But I will thank numerous times. So I'm excited to work on that. I just want to check one thing real quick before we really dive into this. Make sure that all this is looking good here. This looks good. This looks good. Okay. Okay. All right. And do that. Change that around. Okay. Everything's looking good. But yeah, tonight might be a chill evening, and that's okay. It happens. But it'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to build this dragster for the vintage motorcycle 3-in-1. We built 2 out of 3, which ain't bad. But now we got to build the third one. And then we're going to start a new model kit. I should also say that if you are not currently following the channel, please consider following. I'm currently at 1,990 followers, and I want to get to 2,000 followers. That's really it. I just want to get to 2,000 followers. So if you'd like to become a follower, you could. If you haven't already, hit the follow button. It's free. If you want to become a subscriber, that costs money, which you also could do. You've got options. Thank you for choosing the Build With Baer Workshop. I got an itch here underneath this big hat, so let's get that going. And then let's get to the overhead. Ba-boom! There's the overhead. You can see we got the dragster there. Lord Crashin says, "Hey, Pat, winter has officially begun here with a good bit of snow falling throughout today." Wow, all right, nice. We will not get snow here in South Carolina. What we did get was, sorry, let me just make sure. Yeah, that's right. What we did get here was so much fucking rain yesterday. Flood warnings all around me and where I'm at as well. So much goddamn rain. It was remarkable the amount of rain that fell. Various places there was flooding. In some spots we're okay here, but it was a lot. Lord Crash says, "I did see the banner on your channel advertising bonus bits with no context of what that means." Yeah. So bonus bits, let me see. I can get this up here, and I think this thing says what that is. Yes. Twitch will add at least 10% to every cheer over 300 bits from December 13th through December 20th. So if you cheer over 300 bits during the stream before the 20th, Twitch will give me more, and it'll be on Twitch. So it won't cost you less, but I'll get more. So that's fun. Bits are not really a currency that we see too much around here, which is okay. But you may have noticed when I said, oh, it rained everywhere. You may remember, Eagle Eye listeners and viewers may remember that on Saturday, I talked about cleaning the gutters and how the gutters were full of so much bullshit that I had to clean out. And it took way longer than I was anticipating. And turns out That was great. It's really good that I did it of all days that I did it on Saturday, considering that Sunday we had more rain, almost more rain than we had the rest of like the year. Jam is here. Hey Jam, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. So that was wild that I cleaned the gutters right before all that rain came down, because it would have been it might have been fine, but it probably would have been an issue to have all that rain there. So very pleased to say good timing on my part. I'm not necessarily one for great timing, but on this instance, I nailed it. So that's good. I'll talk about it later. Pat Baer's Anime Club when I do my plugs. But I do want to say, if you want to go to my co-host, if you want to go to cohost.org/PatBaer, I want to say that's the link. Let me find the actual link, because I should include the link properly. So let me do that. I put up my anime top 10 list for the year. So if you can go and read it at cohost.org, but also you can watch the video. What do we got going on here? Lord Crashin wants me to hit the dance button. Sure, I'll hit the dance button while I'm looking up a website link. I'll do that right now. Thanks for using your channel points while I look this up. All right, great. I got to include this link here. I'll put that right there. I'll deal with that later. And then I'm going to get a better version of that link. That link I just put in the chat is the link to my co-host write-up of my top 10 list for 2023. And so if you want to read my list, you can. You can also check it out. I'm pleased that some of the usual suspects of anime that are not on my top 10 list, people have mentioned being surprised they didn't see it. The number one being Pluto, which is on the top of my, I probably should fucking watch that, huh? I gotta watch Pluto. That's a big one. Heavenly Delusions is on Hulu, and I believe that's the only place you can watch it is on Hulu. And I don't have Hulu, so I'm gonna either have to get Hulu for a month or someone's login to watch that. That's also one that came up a lot as people were like, oh, I'm surprised you didn't watch that, Pat, or it didn't make your list. And then other people being like, your number 2 is my number 1, or yeah, your number 5. So far, the Oshino Co-Defenders have not shown up in my mentions yet. They're out there. I know they're out there. But one person did say, I also wanted more of, like, someone agreed with me, which made me very happy. On a Discord, was like, I also want more of the murder investigation. And more than one person did the thing I wanted most of anything, which is they said, ooh, I'll check out Undead Murder Farce, which is like, yeah, that's what I want. Like, at this point, vindicated, right, John? Indeed. So far, anyway. Like I said, it hasn't been out that long. Or the list hasn't been out that long. But, like, some people they know from last year they're going to watch Witcher Mercury. Like, that's settled. They've heard about Freerun, and either they decided it's not for them, or they're going to take a look at it later. Like, at a certain point, like, there are known quantities out there, right? Like, maybe, knowing what I like, if you hear that I think the pilot of Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, is worth checking out, you might check that out. You might give that a look because you trust my opinion. But, like, you probably know if you're going to watch Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon. You probably know that. And me saying, it's fucking really fun, might not push you over the edge. But maybe something like Undead Murder Farce is just not on your radar, and I've steered you right in the past. You know, you've watched a few shows that like Decadence. You watched Decadence, which nobody was in my circles anyway was fucking talking about, and you were like, oh well, Pat was talking about this. I'll give that a shot. And you were like, oh, this is cool. Like maybe I can steer you towards some good shit. You know, like the reincarnated magical girl and the genius young lady is something that you've heard about. It was on your, catch up list and you just never got to it or whatever, that kind of thing. And so far, because again, my list hasn't really spread too far out there in the internet too much because it's not on giantbomb.com. I did post in the GB forums and be like, hey, if you missed like guest list, here's my list, that kind of thing. I did that, but I didn't go like super hardcore with it, with promoting it. But I thought people might want to take a look at that. Maybe I should do a blog post on the Giant Bomb forums. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might do that. I might post it as a blog post, so we can get into the weekend roundup. Post in the comments of every GB video. Yes, exactly. That's what I should do. No, I'm not going to spam anyone. As it is, I already feel bad because I didn't put it in promos. I just put a link I didn't put the video anywhere. I just put a link to the co-host, which has the video in the co-host link in categories, and just saying like, hey, I put this here. And I don't make a habit of that. Generally, I wouldn't do that. I would just put it out there for people that are interested in what I'm up to. But I felt like, it's time of the year. I feel like top 10 lists aren't really me promoting my streams or my videos or anything, even though it is a video. I felt like, there's a loophole. And also, if a mod wants to delete my post somewhere, that's their call, and I respect it, I always respect mods out there doing their mod thing. And if they want to like give me a warning and be like, hey, don't post links, like, totally, I get it. I actually didn't see, and I've been keeping up with it. I have been replying to people's comments. People have been leaving me thoughts in those discords, and I have been doing my best to respond to the comments in those. There was a comment on my YouTube video that I replied to, because I think that's only fair that I take an opportunity to, engage with people and all of that, on my anime opinions as they are. Also, I don't write anything these days for fun or for myself. My writing is generally taking people's words and then formatting them in a way that is more legible or more interesting, or just copying and pasting their words into documents and PowerPoints, into decks, as they're called in the biz. That's most of my writing these days. I don't write for fun all that often, and I don't write for myself like that. So even just writing like 3 or 4 sentences at a time was like, oh, yeah, I'm not used to this. The closest I get to that is I write my recaps of anime episodes, right? So that is writing. I do try to condense things. I do pick and choose. I don't do the every single moment in there. They are a summary of events, and I often take out some stuff, or I might move around a little bit and kind of like condense a thing a little bit for clarity. But I don't often, I rarely write like a list of things. I am thinking this year, and we can brainstorm that a little bit here. People only write for the content treadmill these days. Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, I have a co-host, and I could write prose there. I could write thoughts and all of that. I just choose not to. But we could brainstorm a little bit here, friends. So I'm thinking of, I won't do a top 10 list for anything else, but I could do other media Pat liked in 2023. I could do that kind of a list a little bit, maybe for my co-host, and then, obviously put it out places where people can read it. Because I don't want to do like 10 matches of the year. You know what I mean? I just don't really want, that's not my vibe. I don't want to have to like go through and look at cagematch.net and like look through all the highest ranks and like try to make a list and then be like, oh, wait, what happened? Well, I like this show. So maybe I'll be like pay-per-view of the event of the year, show, you know, or event / show of the year. I can do something like that. Or I could do wrestler of the year, you know, match of the, match that meant the most to me. That kind of thing. Like, because I can't say Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor title is the best match of 2023. But as a 20-year, I'm sorry, I think it's 19 years, as a 19-year fan of Eddie Kingston, him winning the Ring of Honor title from Claudio is my match of the year. It means the most to me. Eddie Kingston became a world champion. Beat the guy that he genuinely does not like as a person, but will certainly work with. But storyline-wise is one of his greatest rivals. And that has to be match of the year for me. So, like I said, I've got thoughts about various matches and such, like that kind of thing. Like, show of the year. Is it going to be a pay-per-view? Is it going to be, I mean, it's hype. It's Hyper Misao's produced event for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Hype is my favorite event of the year because it was everything I love about wrestling. It's 3 matches. The first match is, the premise is that it's to be the assistant of Hyper Misao, and it's all of the wrestlers are wearing variations of her gear over the years, wrestling each other. They've all been hypnotized to do the match because none of them would have wanted to do the match. And it's a elimination battle royal. Like that's like a match. Another match is one of her best friends in wrestling fighting a blow-up doll who within the world of wrestling is considered a wrestler and a person, and everyone keeps kayfabe about it. And then the main event is supposed to just be a tag match. But then shit keeps happening. Alternate timelines present themselves. There's time travel and jumping between things, and everyone freezes, and like there are costume changes and other characters come in and people play other roles as if they were now those roles. And it's unbelievably weird and wonderful. And in reality is not even Hyper Misao's great adventure. It's Mahiro's story. It is Mahiro's time to shine, and unbelievably moving and wonderful. It's everything I love about wrestling. So it has to be my event of the year because I don't write about wrestling professionally, so I can be weird about it. I get to be weird about it. The Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. Yes, Crazy Kook. A match where everyone collectively agreed that that was happening. And it's just the referee, Bryce Rensburg, having to sell his ass off, understanding what's supposed to be happening there, and collectively the audience all being like, yes. Some of my favorite bullshit in wrestling is when there's nonsense and the audience is just like, yeah, all right. Chuck Taylor used to be able to pull an invisible grenade out of his waist and throw it. And then everyone went in slow-mo. And the crowd would react in slow-mo. And it was incredible. Because the crowd got on board with what is ostensibly very nonsense. I'm always on board for that stuff. I mean, I love fucking work rate, you know? I do love incredibly talented wrestlers showcasing their incredible talents. Like, I'm not against that. Obviously, I love that shit. That shit owns. But also, I do like the idea that if someone is going to attack you with a can of hairspray and get you in the eyes, the best defense for that is to hold up a pillow that you brought to the ring. That's also wrestling. That's also professional wrestling. Those two things, you know, that, like, totally great. Wrestling rules when it is a variety show, in my opinion. A girl who is wrestler, I should say, who is perpetually 3 years old, who counts the years that she has been a wrestler as her age, tags with someone who refers to themselves as the non-binary nightmare, who is just doing a Mad Max gimmick and collects doll heads, and they're a very successful tag team. Why? I don't fucking know. Wrestling rules. That's why. A successful group of wrestlers in AEW is a guy who is the living embodiment of sloth, a man who is a 1930s radio creature feature man, and a very young dude who is too cool for all of it, who only seems to enjoy chips and suplexes. And they are a very successful unit of people. They're all friends. They're all good friends. Wrestling is wonderful and nonsense. Orange Cassidy, Hook, and Danhausen are friends, and that's beautiful. All right. I finished the dragster. Here's the dragster. This is... So the thing with 3-in-1 kits, we've talked about this before. I'll reiterate for those that don't know. The thing about 3-in-1 kits is there's always the main one, which all the parts get used for, that is just like, that's exactly what you want this thing to be. And you're like, that is a vintage motorcycle. And then there's the other variant where you're like, yeah, you could use most of those parts for that. And then there's the third one. And the dragster is 100% the third one. Like, yeah, these are wheels, I guess. Yeah, that's a drag racer, I guess. Sure. That works. Like, we used so few parts. I have so many extra parts that we had to use for this, because I'll make this bigger so you can see. Oops. Okay. Wait. I need dragster. Oh, okay. That's right. I got to do this. This photo is so goddamn big. But like this motorcycle, like, you can totally see it. You're like, yeah, that's what it was. And then there was this motorcycle. And you're like, yeah, that's fucking cool. And then it's like, and then also this. And you're like, I guess. Which is why we did it last. Because I was like, yeah, I guess. I guess that works. That's the dragster. We're going to work on the Demi Barding. But I got to take a photo of this first. So I have to switch the lighting. My apologies. Because even though this is not a good lighting for building, it is a wonderful lighting for photography. Because I got to take a photo of this thing. I got to check this message real quick. That's fine. Okay. All right. Let me take a photo of this here. That looks good. Do that. Great. We did the dragster, and then boom, back to lighting that looks fine for a stream, but not as good for photography. It is what it is. That's done. Put it over there. Let me get these. I'm going to try to. All of these extra Lego will get broken down and put in a box to go for charity, because I'm going to try to mail that out this month, because the box I have is getting pretty full. All right, now we're going to move on to the Demi Barding. This kit came from Aristofan. Thank you, Aristofan, for this. This is one of two things purchased by Aristofan. We were building the Demi Barding first, and then we will work on the then we will work on Dragonite, the Mega Constructs Dragonite, which should be a fun build. Okay, so we'll get into that, and then let's talk about some news stuff. There's a Square Enix manga collection from Humble Bundle. I don't know if you know that among many things that they do, Square Enix is a manga publisher. They got a publishing arm in the company, and they publish a wide variety of things. This is a 29-item bundle that is, I believe is pay what you want, and I forget how much it is to get all 29. I believe it's $30 for all 29, and there is a 12-item bundle, which is $12. Pay what you want, you can pay more, and a 4-item bundle, which I believe is just, that's 3 manga, and you can pay at least $1 for that. And there's a bunch of different things that different, this collection has some good shit in it, if you're interested. But if you go to Humble Bundle store and you can search for the Square Enix manga collection. A Man and His Cat is very cute. Dress Up Darling, I think is... The anime just felt... I just felt like, no, this isn't for me. This isn't right for me. But for other people, I could definitely vibe with it. And I think that's a fine one. Cherry Magic, I think is kind of neat, kind of good. The Great Jai Will Not Be Defeated is incredibly cute. My Clueless First Friend, also incredibly cute. Good anime adaptation. Fun manga. There's a bunch of stuff in here, and it's a variety of things. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, I don't think is that good, but that's in there. And I've never read Beauty and the Feast. Beauty and the Feast is also in there. So take a look at that if you're looking to pick up some books, and also help out charity. The charity information that they're helping out is the Book Industry Charitable Foundation, BINC, which is cool. So that's neat. That's a small little thing. Also, I guess we should talk about the One Piece. Have you heard about the One Piece? If you haven't, Netflix is doing One Piece again. And I don't mean the live action. I mean a reboot of the anime. The One Piece is real, and it's my friend. Starting with the East Blue arc, which some people were like, wait, what is that the begin? Yes. So basically they're like, hey, we're starting the anime over. Wit is going to do the anime over. So fucking get into it. Get psyched about it. It's fucking happening. It's so strange to think about. So Lord Crashington, we don't know. We don't know if it's One Piece Kai. Now, traditionally, One Piece is not even like a traditional anime will generally condense events of 2 to 3 chapters of a manga, right? Generally, you can do that. There's differences. Some do, there are important battle scenes where they'll stretch it out. They'll add filler. Yes, Lashbrook, we're not even sure if it's a series. We don't know a lot about this. It was announced the anime will be produced by Wit Studio, who work on Spy Family, and they worked on the first 3 seasons, or the first 2 seasons, I think, of Attack on Titan. The One Piece anime will recreate the story of the original One Piece manga, starting from the East Blue arc. So it is not an adaptation of the anime. So, but here's the thing, right? We don't know details, right? We know it's gonna be a Netflix show. We know that it is a reboot of the original, starting with the manga, starting with East Blue. Will it be condensed? Will they cut out? One can assume that filler that exists in the anime that only existed because they wanted to take more time before they did the next arc might not be in there. Will they condense characters? Will characters be removed? We don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. What you do get is hindsight. You get hindsight. And that's huge for a shonen. Because generally, big picture, sure. But moment to moment, not a lot of mangaka plan that shit out. They don't necessarily work moment to moment. So sometimes changes happen. There's a huge one that is maybe still a minor spoiler for some people, but like a fundamental element of One Piece got changed, and it does not feel like this was always the plan. So maybe they'll go back in and add some stuff. The example I often give that is a small example, but a meaningful one is what's her fucking name? The girl that Hinata from Naruto. We're going to talk about Naruto for a second. In the anime, where we're kind of getting to know all the characters, Naruto's around, there's a bunch of characters meeting him. Hinata is there. And she's there, and you get a sense, oh, okay, she does have a crush on him. You kind of get that sense right away. She's at least interested in him and pays more attention to him than any other character does. Pretty immediately, you get that sense about this girl. That's not how the manga goes. Hinata doesn't show up for a while in the manga. And then it's just said, well, you know, she's always in the background. She was always keeping an eye on Naruto because she always, like, wanted to reach out. And she always had at least a bit, she respected that he didn't give up. That's not clear in the manga. It's just stated in the manga. It's slightly retconned. And in the anime, well, they have that knowledge. Okay, Hinata says that she's always been around. We'll just put her in there. We now have hindsight. I'm interested to see what you do, what Wit Studios does with all of this 1,000 plus episodes, 1,000 plus chapters of a manga. Like, do you put Ace in there really early? Do you put flashbacks to Ace? Do you put flashbacks to Sabo in there really early? Because I'll tell you what, when they're like, and there was a third brother, it fucking always felt weird in the manga, and it fucking felt incredibly weird in the anime to be like, there was a third blood brother. And you're like, what? Why did no one ever think of him until now? So why not fucking put Sabo in there? Why not put Ace in there early if you want to? You could. There are things that could happen that the argument that some people make about Trigun Stampede is, well, everybody already knows what happens in Trigun, so it doesn't matter, and you can just start with the reveals. Now, I didn't like that too much because I think the slow-paced nature of Trigun is one of the cool parts of it. Obviously, I was more upset about the removal of a character and the replacement of that character with a person that has a real man's name. I was a little more miffed about that. But I was fairly annoyed with a little bit with that. But I think, like, that's what you do, right? You change it up. My top 10 list has Scott Pilgrim takes off in it. And again, I'm not going to get into specifics about that. But, like, it ain't just the movie. It's not just the comic. That's fucking cool. It 100%, the reason it exists is because Brian Lee O'Malley was like, as long as I get to do something with it. Trigun Stampede would probably be my top 10. Haven't really thought about it. Yeah, it just didn't work for me. I'm an old man about it. I am not going to be an old man about One Piece, but I was an old man about Trigun. If you told me that they were going to do Cowboy Bebop, and they were like, well, we're going to do Cowboy Bebop, but everyone's going to be sarcastic, really sarcastic, and we probably won't really have the dog be that important in it, I'd be like, well, fuck off. Live action version of Cowboy Bebop. But if you told me you were going to animate Cowboy Bebop again, and do a reboot, and you were like, no dog, and we're going to make Ed an adult because it's weird that Ed is a kid. I would be like, nah, fuck off. But I'm not that way about One Piece. But if you are about that way about One Piece, I get it, and I can understand it. The thing that is nice is One Piece is available. It still is. Some shit is hard. Some old shit that they remake, it's hard to find the originals. It's not easily accessible. Fully HD One Piece is also a kind of cool idea. The idea that all of it's going to be in HD. That's kind of neat. You will be an old man about One Piece either way. So, Lord Crashington, that's very true. I am, by definition, an old man when it comes to media like this. Shonen? I'm an old man about shonen. So I'll be an old man either way. It's just that I don't hold One Piece in my heart so much that I can't say whatever. Also, a lot of people are like, well, like, it's still going to have to be hundreds of episodes. And I was like, do you know what Netflix is? They have not said. It could just be the East Blue arc. It does say starting from East Blue. But, like, Netflix cancels shit all the time. So telling me that they're going to produce over 1,000 episodes, I'm like, nah, I don't buy that. I do buy that they're going to do some of it. Some of it will exist. As long as they avoid the pan and scan shit they did to DBZ. Well, that's what I say. This is a reboot. This is another studio working on it. This is not Dragon Ball Kai. They're doing it again. They're going to recreate the story. It's not a collection. It is not a streamlined collection. It is Wit Studio doing One Piece again. Also, it's clear the anime adaptation of the hit live-action show. Well, Lashbrook, that could be. It could just be. It could be. You're saying it's clearly the anime adaptation of the hit live-action show. I don't know if it's clearly that. I buy they will do half of a 2-part movie. Yes. But we don't know. Obviously, live action did very well for them. Will this just be the moments of live action? I would say no, because they're saying we'll recreate the story of the original One Piece manga starting from East Blue arc. All I can go on is what they're saying, and that is what they're saying. That is their press release. They're saying in their press release, we're adapting the manga. And we're starting from the beginning. And that's cool. It's cool, y'all. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think that's a neat idea. You can have Sanji never smoke or always be smoking. Who knows what they're gonna do? There are things you can do about a bunch of characters and storyline stuff with hindsight and knowledge and things that were not said, and not understood. And types of devil fruits can be recategorized because it doesn't make any sense. Because Oda had one idea, but by the time he got to it, it didn't make any sense to do it. So he's just like, oh, all right, well, I'm just going to retcon this, change my mind. It's interesting. If they go at the pace of the live action show, we'll be done in 100 episodes. Well, again, we don't know that. We don't know. We can't make those assumptions. We can just go off of what they have said and then be disappointed or be relieved or not engage with it at all because it's not your thing. That's also an important thing to remember. And obviously, this goes without saying. You can just be like, nah. You can just be like, no thanks. I don't want to. You can just be like, no, I'm good. What? No. Okay. I'm good. And just not. Like, I didn't get Hulu because people were telling me that Heavenly Delusions is excellent and one of the best anime of the year. I didn't get Hulu because I don't really care enough to see it. I will see it at some point. There will be a reason for me to get Hulu. I'll watch that and a couple other things that are on there. But, like, I'm not going to rush out just because people were like, well, it's so good, Pat. It's like, okay, but I don't want to have Hulu right now. So I won't. Someday I will. It's all right. There's a lot of shit out there. It's all right. Be civil about your dislikes. Indeed, right? Like, totally. Imagine a modern Columbo where he wonders why this guy would kill himself when he just started One Piece. Oh, yeah. You thunder gunned a bunch of American Horror Story on Hulu. That's about it. Well, there you go. So to go with what Crazy Kook was saying there, because I guess we're just gonna kind of rant a little bit tonight. I'm fine with that. Yeah, like Oshi no Ko is my number 5 anime of the year. That's probably some people's favorite anime of the year. Some people have Jujutsu Kaisen on their list, and the reasons why it's not on my list, I don't matter to them. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to get in a fight with people. If people come after me because Pluto's not on the list because I didn't watch Pluto yet, I'm going to, or their favorite anime isn't in the number 1 spot or whatever, like, fuck off. But if you're like, yeah, I don't want to get High Dive, so I didn't watch the show you think is good. Like, okay, yeah, that's a perfectly valid reason. Same thing with me and Heavenly Delusions. Like, I haven't watched it because I don't want Hulu right now. Demon Slayer didn't make past list. I'm rioting. Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing, right? Yeah. Obviously, Attack on Titan, Season 4, Part 2, isn't on my list. I haven't watched it yet. I'm happy for people that they finished the fight, but I don't care about the fight. I kind of talked about this on Saturday. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was on my list. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, like, I made my PowerPoint for the video. I hadn't recorded the video yet, and I'm glad I hadn't recorded the video yet, because I was writing my list and you know, organizing my thoughts and getting ready to record the video. And I start writing it, and I'm like, I wrote a little bit about how, yes, you'll watch that next year, John, totally. Yeah, I have a bigger list this year than normal, because they're just, I didn't go, I watched so much wrestling this year. I watched a lot more wrestling than normal and watched less anime than my normal. So yeah, so I was writing Jujutsu Kaisen up, okay? And I'm talking about the show's, you know, the parts I liked about it. It's brutal. It's sad. I think it is a fantastic adaptation of the anime. The fight scenes are great, except when they're not. And then I started talking about MAPPA and how they're having, it's working conditions there are so poor that people are tweeting about it. Animators are talking on social media about being unhappy with their employment. That's how bad it is. Japanese animators are talking shit while under contract. And how now MAPPA is supposedly, allegedly, making them sign NDAs so they won't talk about it. And how episodes got delayed and rushed. And some episodes look like fucking ass. And I start thinking about it, and I go, this can't be in my top 10. It can only be in my, this would have been in my top 10, except for this, and this. So my numbers, like, I think it was my number 4, gets bumped out. It just gets bumped out. And Spy Family Season 2 comes in. Spy Family Season 2, which was kind of my number 11, comes in the number 7 spot, because I reorganized the list, because it's not like when that comes out, everything moves up. No, my number 10, no matter what happens, my number 10 is magical. Like, the isekai are low on the list because it's a subgenre that some people just can't stand. I love it. I respect that some people, that's just not their thing. They're weird, but I wanted them to have a shout out and be able to talk about them, so they end up in the 10 and the 9 spot. Also, like, you know, Reborn of Vending Machine, I think, is fantastic. It's hard for me, in my head, to argue that Reborn is a vending machine. I Now Wander the Dungeon is better than Oshinoko. It's like, can I really just, no, I can't justify that. So, or like the ice guy and his cool female colleague, and a romance anime for adults where there is magical cool shit, and that just adds to the hijinks. That's not a big secret that he has to keep with him, and we have to deal with that for 8 episodes. Will she find out? No, she already knows that he makes ice magic, and that it's in part that anytime there's ice or snow, it's because he's nervous. Like, beautiful. We got that. We're there. Crazy says, I'm still trying to find a good show to watch now. A lot of my watch list, but nothing seems interesting. So, if I can say, check out my anime top 10 list. See if there's something there. Maybe, like, I have had a few people say, I'm going to be watching Undead Murder Farce because I recommended Undead Murder Farce. Because Undead Murder Farce is about a woman who is an immortal who got her head removed from her body and her body stolen. She meets a man who his job is to kill demons and Oni. Due to the machinations of the same person that stole her body, he is slowly becoming a demon, and someday he will lose all his rationale and become a mindless demon. He is looking to die. She is looking to die. Instead of dying, they decide to team up, and they're going to find the sole man that is responsible for their bullshit. And to find him, they are going to become the world's greatest detectives and deal with cases involving people from famous works of European literature. The Phantom of the Opera is in there. Poirot is in there. Sherlock Holmes is in there. It is a wild, weird spectacle with great fighting and cool, fun moments. It is a fantastic romp. I did not know about it coming into the year. I am on my to-do list is track down the novels and read the novels because I want to know more. I don't know if it's going to get more episodes, and I want to know more that's going on. That's just a show that the first episode aired, and people whose opinions I value and trust and respect were like, this is the hit of the season. This is the surprise hit. If you're not watching Undead Murder Farce, like, you're missing out. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch the first episode. And I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, yup, all right, this is my shit. I'm in there. Didn't know. That's why it's in my number 3 spot, because it's like, it was a huge, wonderful surprise. I loved it. I loved every fucking episode of it. It's just so good. I totally understand if it is not for some people. I think it's rad. But yeah. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead probably would have been in the 8, 7, 6 spot. Because the pilot is so strong. The pilot is still incredible. But they didn't finish the series, and I'm not going to put Incomplete Anime on the list. Now, on Christmas Day, the 25th, episode 10 airs, and 10, 11, and 12, they will finish the story. And I look forward to that. Hopefully, they didn't, they toned back the CGI bullshit that they were using just to get the anime episodes done. I'm hopeful. But, like, if I haven't watched those episodes, I can't list it. Now, you say, well, Pat, Frieren is a 2-core, and it's not done yet. Yes. Frieren is episode up to 14, I believe, at time of recording of that thing. Locking in my list, Frieren is not done, but Frieren is a 2-core, and 14 episodes came out. And if it turns out that the later half of that show sucks, then I'll put a note in my list next year. But also, Frieren could end up on my list next year in the top 10 because it fucking whips ass. And the episodes that are going to air in 2024 could end up just being fucking fantastic. They could be remarkably good and just demand placement on my list. I don't know. I won't know for a while. I got to put some stickers on here, and then we got to panel line it. These are tiny stickers. Our first stickers of the kit, because the head has 0 stickers because it got a cool green instead. This is not a sticker, which rules. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Anyway, I did want to put this out. This is a bummer. James McAfee. McAfee. James McAfee passed away. He is a voice actor. You may know as an actor, legit as well. But is probably best known to people as Max Payne. When you think of Max Payne's noir voiceovers, you think of James. He was also in Alan Wake 2 and Control. And he passed away from, I believe it was multiple melanoma, which is a blood cancer. And I believe Kevin Dillon posted about it first, and then it was TMZ confirmed. It's a rare cancer that starts in the bone marrow. Less than 200,000 cases in the U.S. each year. So it's pretty goddamn rare of a disease. And as someone that played a lot of Alan Wake 2 and is currently New Game Plusing Alan Wake 2, it's very weird. He's all over there. He's Alex Casey in it. And Alex Casey is basically just there. Well, we want to have Alan Wake. We can't have Max Payne in this game, so we're gonna have basically not Max Payne in this game. Which was very wild of them just to do. Sad news, he was back in the spotlight with Alan Wake 2. Indeed. Yeah, and he's been part of the company. He's been doing voices in the company for 25 years with Remedy. And just a character actor, who's in Jessica Jones, Second City, Law and Order. Of course, he was in Law and Order. But yeah, character actor, but an iconic voice actor. And it's a real shame. But I did want to at least bring it up. I know it's a fucking bummer. But yeah. It's a real shame. How do I transition from that? Is there any news that is funny to say? I'm gonna refresh Kotaku's news feed, see if there's anything funny to say as we transition into ads in a little bit. My self-insert ads. I don't know if there's anything. Oh God, am I gonna talk about this? Okay. Pornhub puts out statistics for search terms. You know they do. The list of most searched for video games on Pornhub. Fortnite, way ahead of everybody else. Fortnite porn. Overwatch, still popular. Minecraft moved up to number 3 spot. Pokemon up to the 3 spot. Atomic Heart makes its way onto the list for the first time because they also put in the +1s. Cyberpunk down 6 spots from previous years. Genshin Impact, which used to be high on the list. Resident Evil, Valorant, League of Legends, Mortal Kombat, GTA 5 had a reappearance. What? The only thing I can think of GTA 5 is maybe it's on the list because of the RP servers. maybe. But I don't know why that's on the list, or there's some character in the online that I don't know about that people are sexy for. Cyberpunk, Sims 4, Street Fighter, Apex Legends, Skyrim, Splatoon, The Witcher, God of War, Super Mario had a resurgence. Boo-related shit kind of fell off. Bowsette stuff, but I guess the movie brought people back. I don't know. Peach. I don't know if Peach moved the needle. Call of Duty, Baldur's Gate 3, not too far high on the list. Tomb Raider, of course, Mass Effect, Among Us, Detroit Beyond Human, Final Fantasy, Red Dead Redemption, Legend of Zelda, and also Cuphead. Further data provided by Pornhub revealed which specific video game characters people were searching for the most. Chun-Li is top of the list, but apparently it's not just Chun-Li in general. Like, it's not like this version of Street Fighter 2 Chun-Li. No, apparently people are very hot for Chun-Li in Fortnite. The Fortnite version of Chun-Li is apparently a big deal. And sure. But like Tifa, Lara Croft, yeah, it's still weird. Chun-Li, Fortnite, Tifa, Final Fantasy, Diva, Overwatch, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Lady Dimitrescu, Resident Evil. Number 6, Sonic. Number 7, Ada Wong. That makes some sense. Mario, Widowmaker, and Mercy. Now, I want to think that Mario is in there because it's people searching for Super Mario Brothers pornography and not the character Mario. But also, I don't fucking know. I don't know what you're up to. I don't know what's going on. Because it is, of course, the character's name that is also related to that. Zelda, not in the top 10. It's a lot. Overwatch still running strong. 3 characters. Chun-Li Fortnite is weird in a way that I don't know. I don't know what this says. I don't understand. Peppermint didn't make the list. Philistines. I don't know. Peppermint from, of course, Hi-Fi Rush. Atomic Heart. I guess? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Among Us? I don't know. I guess there were some TikTok memes of people in Among Us costumes. So maybe that's it, but I don't know. I'm talking too much about this. People like those robot ladies. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. People did like those Atomic Heart robot ladies. You're not wrong. Yeah. I'll keep panel lining this because this kit is coming together nice and quick. We're already done with the chest. It needs more panel lining. We'll get to that. But I have no problem transitioning off of that to talk about this. Well, it came out this... What I'm saying is, I know it came out this year, but I'm still like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's not about, like, why is it on the list? It's more about, like, why is it on the list? You know what I mean? It's okay if you don't know what I mean. Hello. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel because that is essentially a thing that needs to happen here. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Build With Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, using your cash or your Prime Gaming token. So if you are a subscriber, you can throw those emotes in the chat, let the people see those. Cool emotes. You don't see ads. It's nice. All the things that we talk about here are optional. You don't have to do any of these things. Now, if you also do want to subscribe, I should tell you that if you're a new subscriber, 25% off. Right now, if you become a subscriber, you save money. I don't get 25% more. You save money on being a subscriber, but I also get that cut of you being a subscriber. So that's great. And then later in the month, you can get 25% off gifted subs. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community, like Aristofan and Umjan, because we're trying to get to 50 subscribers. We're currently at 39, trying to get to that big 50. So if you want to, you could do that. And then, Umjan just subbed with Prime for 26 months, saying 40. That is right. So let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in the chat and thank Umjan, because Umjan subbed with Prime. I am now at 40 subscribers. The goal was 50, but I'm on my way. That's rad. Thank you, Umjan. Appreciate that. But yeah, bits right now. I can get bonus bits if you gave 300 or more bits. You don't have to, but if you wanted to, you could. And again, you could gift a sub. Gift subs will be on sale on the 27th, but right now, you could also save a little bit of cheddar. That's one way to support me. There are other ways, like my Patreon at patreon.com/BatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. It would be rad. You're more than welcome to do that. That's an option. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, but not through Twitch, I get it. Also, YouTube. YouTube.com/PatBear. Subscribing to YouTube is free, so you can be a subscriber there if you wanted to. Also, while you're on my YouTube, if you wanted to, why don't you hop over and think about maybe becoming a member? Just $2 a month over on YouTube gets you a membership. You get my Wednesday videos a day early. We're almost done with this year's project. And then next year, I start a brand new project. And you can be on the ground floor of that and get that information before other people do. Well, that's kind of neat. So you could do that. Those are all monthly ways to support me. But there's also one-time. If you just want to help me out this month, if like right now, if you're like, yeah, I got a little Christmas money burning a hole in my pocket, I'll get you something, Pat. Well, you could go over to my PayPal link, or you go over to Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/PatBear, and do that as a one-time. And everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense. So watching my videos, if you watch my top 10 list, which will give you a link in a bit, that does support me. And then Patreon and Twitch all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits. This Lego set that I built here, the 3-in-1, the dragster, and the other ones that we built from this, that came from my backlog of kits. I've got more kits that came in my backlog. I've got another one coming tomorrow. I got a nice little bit of a backlog there, and I'd be happy to build anything from there. But you could be like Aristofan and decide, no, Pat, you don't work on that. You work on the things I want you to. Because this kit that I'm working on right now came because Aristofan bought it off my Amazon wish list. So I got a dedicated video about this and the other thing that that Aristofan bought. And then it jumped the queue. I made a separate video about those, an unboxing video, and now I'm building it. So you go to Amazon.com. That's the easiest way to do this. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build. I've got model kits, Lego sets, inexpensive things, very expensive things, with Prime shipping, with free delivery for Prime members, with free shipping, which are all different things and arrive at different times. Inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that drop in price sometimes, kits that are way more expensive now than they ever have been for whatever reason. All different kinds of things that I'd be happy to build on stream. And then also at the bottom of that is some gear that would make my life easier / would be fun. And you could pick up something there if you see something there that you think would be cool for me to build. Or just some gear that would help out. That's the easiest way to do that. If you got some Christmas money set aside, if you got a gift card to Amazon you want to use on something, send it my way. My alternative to Amazon is I have a throne wish list because it's nice to have an alternative. I am going to update that. It's been a little while since I updated my throne wish list, but I'll go through and update that, see if there's something there that you'd like to send my way. And then, of course, the most convoluted way, the one that requires the most effort, USA Gundam Store. You go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card. They send you an email with that gift card code. Then you send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter with that gift card code, and I use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. You can make a suggestion, like I have Ghost Valve was like, here's money, or here's gift cards, buy the Epion Real Great. And I was like, yes, I will do that. Or you can just be like, I don't know, get something on sale or that's neat, and I'll do that too. Let's see. If you want to support me but not spend any money, I have a Discord. You can come out my Discord. I post build photos after every stream. People post stuff they're working on. My Discord is nice, and you're welcome to join me there. What else? Video links. I've talked about it a bunch tonight. Episode 112 of Pat Bear's Anime Club. My top 10 list for 2023. Watch the video. Or you can read the list over on co-host right here. Check out that list. And then Baerly Rehearsed. I'll have a new one up on Wednesday. Baerly Rehearsed, a year-long video project where every week I wrote and performed a piece of comedy that I rehearsed some amount. It is barely, but it is rehearsed. This one is... What? Why did I just blanked on what this one was, so I'm going to click on it because... Oh yeah, Danny Local. The local news. The premise is it's a guy named Danny who his last name is Local, so the news stories are just about stuff that affects him. Different kind of categories you would see on a news program, updates and, you know, a bunch of different nonsense, the entertainment news. There's an interview where I break the fourth wall kind of in a way that I thought was pretty fun. So check that out. I think it's pretty neat. And then the one that I'm posting that's going to go up on Wednesday is a real thing that happened to me that I was like, I'm going to film this. I'm going to film a version of this. What the fuck? So that's coming out. All right. So I'm now going to talk about some manga and some anime. We'll get into that because it's Manga Monday. So we got to talk about manga. But before I do that, I do need to drink some water. And we do need to dramatically transition back to the overhead. So let's do that. Whoop. Let's do that right now. All right. John wants me to hit the dance button. And you know what? I will. Here is the dance button. Oh, while I do some panel lining, we'll hit the dance button. Do 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 do. Will this music be weird when we get to December 26th? No, not really. I think it'll be totally fine to do on December 26th. I don't know. Maybe it'll be weird December 26th through the 31st. Maybe it'll be weird as hell. Maybe, but I think it'll be fine. All right. Okay. All right. Just panel lining this. Let's start with some manga talk. I got a manga to recommend. It is called, you can keep using it until Valentine's Day, like people keep their lights up. Yeah, no thanks. One thing about this house, shortly after Christmas, I don't know exactly when, we'll start packing stuff up sometime before New Year's usually. So, but I might keep these lights up, my Christmas lights, I might keep these up longer and then just later put them in a box because I like that. Same thing with my hat. I keep my hat separate so it doesn't have to go into storage because it just goes in my closet. I'm an unfashionable lady, but when I helped the villainous young lord, he ended up liking me, is a romantic comedy fantasy manga. It is not an isekai. And it is in the banished subgenre. And if you're unfamiliar with that subgenre, that is the stories that are somebody who is competent, but is seemingly not considered competent for whatever reason, is banished. And only when they are banished do they showcase how fucking awesome they are. In this case, she is not the reason. that she is banished is she's not the one set out to do it. She gets swept up in something. Turns out she's great. Turns out he's great. David asks, when did manga titles become a summary? So I actually have an answer for this. When light novels became more and more popular with readers in Japan, in order to sell those books, advertise those books better, draw your attention in bookstores, they started coming up with titles that were explanations of it, that were a summary of it. So, and especially because it's going to be written in kanji, you can see it on the spine of the book as you're walking by and go, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's a manga. That's not necessarily the best title. So this is based on a light novel. That's where they come from. So not every manga does that. Like Undead Unluck is a recent manga with an anime adaptation where you're just like, okay, I don't know what that means. But generally, light novels have those long sentences. In this case, yeah, I'm an unfashionable lady. The familiar circumstances of the irregular witch. You're like, okay, I kind of know what that is. One that I'm watching this season is an anime based on a manga or light novel that has a manga. My daughter left the nest and returned an S-rank adventurer. Tells me what's going on. So in this case, you know, when you read the spine of this book, you go, I'm an unfashionable lady, but when I helped the villainous young lord, he ended up liking me. Or when you're browsing a digital manga collection or light novel collection, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting to me. Bleach, I don't know what the fuck Bleach is, but I do know that this is about an unfashionable lady and a villainous young lord. Hey, turns out, as is this style, he's not a villainous young lord. The princess he's too goody-goody. He's too by the book. Could you retitle American shows to read like a night novel title? So, Breaking Bad is, I was happy as a teacher until I got cancer and had to become a drug maker. That's just off the top of my head. That's not a good example. That's probably not the best example, but maybe that gets your point. Where it's just like, all right, that's a summary of the show. It is now a summary of the show. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. I think that works out okay. I think if I can think of another TV show. I guess Severance would be, I can't tell you what my job is because I don't remember. I like something like that, maybe. Maybe that's it. I mean, I'm sure there's a better version for Severance, but that's maybe what they would go with. Something like that. In this case, our unfashionable lady that's not her style. That's not her vibe. Her whole family, this lower nobility, they're stuck in the past. They have ideas, and our girl can't live up to their expectations. She tries really hard. She's never really felt love from her family. It's clearly an abusive family, but she's doing her best. And she's not succeeding because she's been given impossible tasks that she can't complete. There's just no way for her to complete those tasks. So she just kind of does whatever she can. And she's a laughing stock with many people. She knows eventually she's going to be married to somebody who isn't interested in anything about her other than her title. And it's going to be her life. She's a little sad about the way her life is going. And then a young noble, like a frontier noble, who lives in the capital, but his family has roots in the frontier, ends up showing a little affection to her, helps her out a little bit. And so when he is being yelled at by the princess, his fiance, and she's like, I'm breaking our engagement. And you know, he's not a villain. He's going to be made out to be a villain. He's just a reasonable person trying to do his best, but she's not in love with that. And obviously the princess of a kingdom shouldn't be really thinking about love, but, you know, they're teens. What are you going to do? So he's like, it's like, well, for your crimes, for bullying my next fiance, where apparently the crimes were telling this dumbass, hey, you shouldn't be hanging out with the princess. It's bad for her rep, dude. That apparently was bullying. She decides she's going to banish him. She's going to send him out to the frontier, where he'll probably die. And she decides, spur of the moment, all right, well, you're going to take this lady, you know, the unfashionable young lady. She's going to go with you. That's your new fiance. Because to her, that's a punishment. That is a hilarious punishment, is I'm going to make, you know, you get married to the ugly girl, the ugly, weird girl with terrible fashion sense, and this villainous dude. It's, you know, punishment for both of you. And again, he's not villainous, and she's not wearing these clothes because she wants to. The makeup and all of that. This is stuff forced upon her by her family. So as soon as she's kind of free of that, it's going to take a little while for her to kind of get deprogrammed a bit. But turns out she's just like pretty on it, pretty on top of it, pretty like with it. Honestly beautiful, you know, like genuinely a good person. And he's a hard worker. And even if the frontier isn't what they're used to, it's better than the way she was treated in her home. And they're doing well. I think I'm like 11 chapters in. If you're like, is there a time where a bunch of people talk a lot of shit about the family, like her birth family, who were treating her poorly? Yes. There is a point where they're like, hey, fuck you, you pieces of shit. Which is awesome. They do get some comeuppance. They don't have enough comeuppance, in my opinion, but they get more comeuppance than you would normally get in a show like this. And then it's not all smooth sailing. They've kind of got to start earning the trust of the frontier people, because the previous lord, the reason why this is a rough job, I lost a sticker somewhere here. I don't know where it went. I flicked it off, and it flicked off here and then disappeared. So I'm going to have to keep my eyes peeled for sticker 5. It may just magically appear on this board or somewhere. I don't know where it could have gone. I'll keep my eyes peeled for this sticker that did miraculously disappear. But it is a sticker that goes on the back of this arm, so it's not the end of the world. It's not good, but it's not the end of the world. I got too overzealous talking about anime. Oh, I found it. It ended up sliding on top of another sticker that's identical to it. So I did find the sticker that I was missing. So great. I'll just be more careful with these because they are tiny. There's some cool monster friends in it. They got some trained beasts. But yeah, they're running into some issues. They're trying to make the frontier life better for everyone. She's trying to find her place in the world. Also, she's got abilities that they're learning more about because her natural talents and her cool abilities were useless to her family because she didn't have the same traits they thought were cool and important. Because, like, what's the matter? You can make plants grow faster? What's good? What good is that? And you and I know the ability to make plants go faster in a medieval fantasy world sounds pretty fucking good. But they're like, what good is that? We're here in the capital. You can't even do, like, fire magic or whatever. You know, you're worthless. Whatever they say. But we know she's not worthless. It's fun. Is it my favorite manga that I've been reading? No. Is it a good read? Yeah, I think it is a fun read. I would say do a little investigation if you'd like to see if that's something that's up your alley. I'm an unfashionable lady. And when I helped a villainous young lord, he ended up liking me. Also, it's a slow romance because they're starting to really, like, they're gonna get married. They know, but maybe it's gonna be okay. Maybe it's gonna be good. Maybe it'll work out. Also, when she had her makeover, a bunch of people were like, "What? Huh? How'd that happen?" Which is cool. You know, they should see how great she is anyway, but it's still cool. Now I will tell you about some anime that I've been watching. Let me click the button so that will show up in chat. The list here. I Shall Survive Using Potions. And The Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch. The final episode. Episode 12 of 12 of that. It's slightly more than a She's All That makeover, at least. Yeah. It's a change of environment, and it's getting her out of her family, and then she's able to blossom a little bit more. And it's just cute. But this was episode 10 of I Shall Survive Using Potions. Kaoru is our main character, our isekai main character that can make potions in a world where nobody has ever heard of magic potions, but she can make them. She finally gets around to doing the thing that she's been wanting to do for a while, which is open a potion shop. She opens up an Altier that they call Rayette's Altier. Rayette is the girl that she recently adopted as her younger sister that she's taken care of. The girl that was kidnapped along with her. All right, wait. Sorry, hold on. This goes in like this. Okay, press tightly. Ah, there we go. Oh, no. There we go. All right, got that together. Goes on there. Oh, there are more stickers. They wanted me to put this on first before I put on the rest of the stickers for whatever reason. Because there's still stickers 7 and 6. I'm glad I didn't panel line this yet because I still have to put more stickers on. It looks like most of the stickers for this kit are related to the model, or related to the shoulders, which is fine, of the Demi Barding. Okay, so we open up a potion shop, and she's just like a medicine seller. And it's going well. Business is booming because one of the medicines she's making makes her very popular with the military of the country because she has solved soldier syndrome, which sounds devastating. Soldier syndrome, what could that be? It's athlete's foot. She has a medicine that cures athlete's foot. And she has like 3 different medicines that do different, that cure it in different ways. There's like relief, getting rid of the rash, and then completely healing. And they're different prices. And it's like, oh, that's great because it makes it convenient for people. But also, just having it go away means that you're going to catch it from somebody else because you're not curing it. So she's got customers for life. Yeah, she needs John Madden. Yeah. She doesn't need John Madden because she has her little adopted sister, Rayette, who's a cute poster girl for the store. And therefore, they get a lot of people who just think that she's cute and fun. And then also, everybody's really excited about curing that. It is popular with the soldiers and other people as well. Kaoru decides, okay, well, so people know that she is the goddess's representative, traveling with a large group of people. So they're trying to lay low. So instead of just having a house full of people, she hires Belle and Emil, who are, or Emil, I should say, who are the orphans from early in the show that she ended up traveling with her. Basically, she hires them to be like guards of the store, and then from the shadows, the prince and what's her name, Fran, are gonna like hide out and kind of keep from the shadows, which is good. Also, it allows for Emil and Belle to get experience as hunters working for a guild, because eventually that should be their job, or that way they can take care of themselves eventually. Also, Kaoru makes contact with a guy named Gum, a little kid named Gum, basically this town's orphans representative, and they find out that Emil and Belle used to be orphans, and they want to get some guidance because they want to be able to eventually take care of themselves. And we'll see if they got help. They're getting some help from Kaoru, and we'll see if she ends up helping them even more in the future. Because she does give him a whistle to help communicate. So we'll see if that comes into play. There is a lieutenant colonel. There are several branches of the military there, several lieutenant colonels. One of them is like, hey, the military wants to bulk order your potion or your medicine. And I'll pay you, and then I'll distribute it to the other general or the other colonels. Turns out he's not doing that. He is hoarding it for himself, or he's selling it to other people. We're not sure. We'll find out more about that soon. But a guy who obviously could not be trusted, cannot be trusted. So we find that out. Meanwhile, Count Ulm shows up. Count Ulm is the local lord. And it turns out that Count Ulm has some money-making schemes. Namely, he demands that people who work in buildings that he owns sign new versions of the lease with him where he gets control. His eventual goal, apparently, is that he wants to get the method that Kaoru uses for making the medicine so he can just take over the business and whatever. And it's local lord, so Kaoru could fight it, but instead she comes up with a fiendish plan. Yes, evil TOS updates, yeah. So she agrees to his plan. Well, his plan doesn't say anything about what she does in that store. So she moves all her stuff to another store, and where he's not the landlord. And in its place is a place that sells lunch box. They send bento boxes. They sell box lunches. And they're like, we can give you the recipe for this box lunch. And he's like, I don't want that. So he tracks her down, and he's mad. And she's just like, look, I'll just keep moving my store. I can do that. I have no problem. He doesn't know about her item box and all that. It's like, I can just keep moving my store. Or what if I set up on an army base? And what if I let my colonel friend know that you're giving me problems? And he's like, most nobles that we've encountered have been either pig-headed or completely foolish. He at least, he's a scammer, but he realizes, he's like, okay, so this is just, I'm just going to lose money and time. And, yeah, I don't want to do this. He's like, I'll lose money, I'll lose time, and I might even bring shame to my family when all this comes and goes. So fine, you win. I'll leave you alone. So they win. Kaoru negotiates a better lease, a better rent payment to the landlord, who couldn't do anything about it, but definitely didn't help her or didn't warn her about the building, and that he would be taking advantage. That she would have to deal with this issue. And they're like, great, now we can go back to selling potions and we can give up on this other business. But then the jokes of the episode happen where who says it? Sorry. It's Belle is like, but everyone really likes the bentos, and we have 50 orders for tomorrow. They ordered in advance and paid already. So it looks like they're going to have to keep selling bento boxes because they were incredibly popular. Her little well, we need to have something in the store. Ha ha ha. Turns out to be a very big thing. So they got to do that. And then this is episode 10 of 12. Episode 10 ends with a rat with red eyes comes out of a cart into the town. Uh-oh. Kaoru might have to spring into action to help with, I'm going to go ahead and assume, the plague. If a rat is involved, I'm just going to assume they're going to do something with the plague. this show is fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's silly in many ways. It's goofy. Um, Kaoru is a fun main character in that she is fairly conniving. She's still looking for a husband. That's still part plan. She wants to settle down, find a husband. She's hoping that this business, will set her up for a while, and then also allow her to meet the guys she's looking for. So she's got plans. Girl's a businesswoman at heart. Can't help but love her. Hey, guess what? This was not in my top 10 list for the year, but it is pretty great. I enjoy it. It's good isekai. So, yeah. Now I want to tell you about The Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch, Episode 12. If you don't know this show, this is about Viola, who is a witch. She's a tiny young lady because her age is basically like her body's kind of frozen. Some years, 16 years ago, around, she found a baby in the woods that she named Viola, and decided she's going to raise Viola. Viola is a human woman that does no magic. Because they are not blood related, even though she's 16, she is taller and looks older than her mom. They both really like each other. They do not want dudes hanging around trying to break up the time they spend together. It is cute in many ways. There are two characters in the show that are great. One of them got introduced last episode, and we don't get more of him. The best character in the show is, of course, the Phoenix named Phoenix. And he's the best. And then, oh God, what's the other one? I forget what the animal is. It's a new character. They got introduced one there. Did I write it down? Did I include it? Yes. I forgot about it. I did have to verify that I got the name right of it. Toxic Koala. Toxic Koala was introduced last week. It's a koala that is purple because it's toxic, and he is a brat, and he was my new favorite character. We didn't get any of Toxic Koala in this episode, which is why I was like, wait, what animal is it? I have forgotten what animal it is. I couldn't believe I forgot. Anyway, in this episode, Alyssa's father, Ari, who is a philanderer, he's mad because he never knew that he had a granddaughter. He was never told about this granddaughter, and he's mad about it, that everyone kept it from him. Turns out Fennel, Ari, who's generally also protective of his daughter, he's fine that Fennel has a crush on Alyssa, because, yeah, he's like, well, this dude's not going to be able to pull that off. Like, I don't have to be worried about him because this guy doesn't have any game and nothing to worry about. Alyssa blames her dad for staying away because he had an arrest warrant for seducing another man's wife, and he was waiting for the warrant to, I guess, lapse. Apparently, he was just laying low for a really long time. So she was just like, well, yeah, you're fucking never around. Viola is interested in meeting her grandmother, which we really don't know anything about. We don't know anything about Alyssa's mom. Viola's like, oh, I'd like to meet her grandmother. But apparently she's impossible to keep track of, and is kind of like a mystery woman. So we're not going to meet her. Spoiler alert, we don't meet her. I thought we were setting up for her to appear at the end of this episode or something. Nope. We're just going to mention the grandma and then not anything else. She did apparently meet Viola when Viola was a baby at one point. And she told her daughter, Alyssa, like, you're going to be a good mom. You're going to be fine, which is nice. That's some nice moment there. They show Viola's baby pictures and talk about funny stories, trying to cheer up Ari, but he just gets more upset. And then so he's just like, Fennel, tell me some stories that, you know, like, and he's just like, well, all of his stories and their flashbacks are just Viola, like, growing up and being mean to him. Apparently, Alyssa had trouble. We learned this about the mom, that she had trouble doing magic when she was younger. And she used to get ill a lot, which I think we knew from before. Phoenix, the Phoenix, who acts more like a cat, does not understand what's going on, does not care about people's problems, because to this immortal Phoenix, everyone is a child. So he's just like, yeah, I don't know, you know, I don't get it. I don't get what's going on here. Couldn't be me. Let's see, what else are here? And then everyone leaves and they go shopping, and it's just like back to basically what was happening in the first episode, like pretty much back to basics, where Alyssa is mad that people still think that Viola is Alyssa's mom, or that they're sisters and not, you know, who's the older of the two, which is a very non-ending. As I said, I wrote this in my notes. I was expecting the grandma to show up because they finally mentioned her. Guess not. An uneventful ending to a pretty fun slice of life with some magic, good comedy. As I said, a late addition in episode 11 was Toxic Koala. I was very happy to meet Toxic Koala. And a Phoenix as a familiar is a fun bit of business. Is this an incredible show? No. Is it a good show? Yeah. It's fun to watch on a Sunday or a Monday, depending on when I was going to check it out. Like, totally enjoyable. Not my favorite show of the season by any means. I don't even know if I would be like, I certainly wouldn't be like, you gotta watch this. Like, I would not say that. But if you are looking to pick something up from this season over your holiday break, if you got some time off coming and you'd like to, you know, check out something, you could do way fucking worse this season than that. We've got some time left in the stream. Not a lot. We got a little time left in the stream. And I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you enjoying? What's got you going? Or maybe you disliked it. You see any movies over the weekend? You watch any TV? Catching up on any books? You watching any anime? Playing any video games? I'm not going to get into too much spoilers, but I've been playing Alan Wake 2. More of it. Playing the new game. Hey, guess what? Alan Wake 2 is still fucking good. Still fucking quality. Hearthstone, been playing that. Finished. I've been playing some Battlegrounds in Hearthstone. I don't like Battlegrounds, but I was getting some stuff, some rewards for playing it, so I was playing that. And then I'm mostly just playing my wild decks and my standard decks and trying to rack up some wins, get some gold so that I can buy some card packs. I'm trying to save up some dust to craft a legendary to build a goofy deck that seems fun. But I don't have enough dust, so I got to do that. I'll be checking out what y'all wrote in just a moment, so feel free to continue writing about things that you are playing or doing, because I would love to hear that from y'all. I'm going to just jump ahead and build the last stickers here, because we already did this on the other shoulder, so this will be nice and easy. We have made pretty damn good progress on this already. Is there anything else that I'm watching some wrestling? You know me. You know I'm going to watch some wrestling. Combat Princess was a joint show in LA between Prestige Wrestling, who works on the West Coast, I should say, up and down the West Coast, and Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. It was a great card. It's a fun show. The live stream apparently went kind of bad, but it was happening while I was doing this, so I didn't watch it live. But they fixed it, so that's good. But yeah, the venue had some issues keeping a good, strong signal out to the live audience. So luckily they recorded it all locally and then just edited in and kind of put up a different version, and which I didn't notice it being bad. So at the very least, what they uploaded was good. I got, I'm just always watching my stories. Sandy, A7 and A9. Tomorrow, I should say this before I read what y'all are writing here. Tomorrow, check out my stream here, 9 p.m. Eastern. I will be playing a video game, Persona 4 Golden, with mods. That's right. We're back at it again. It's been a month. We did it on Halloween. We celebrated Halloween by dressing up in characters and going into the scariest, most Halloween spooky dungeon, gender confusion dungeon, the laboratory. Now, I have already in my own time gone into Persona 4 Golden with mods and defeated, saved Nanako, got Nanako out of the dungeon she was in. So we don't have to be bummed out about that. But tomorrow, the goal is to defeat the protagonist that has been the protagonist that's been in the game this whole time. We know who it is. We're gonna fucking kick Adachi's ass. That's gonna be most of the episode is just getting through that dungeon, although it will be quick. And we were checking out one new mod. Some of the new mods I have, we won't be able to really see because where I am in the game, it doesn't really affect it. I need A12. But the experience share mod, we'll see how that works when I'm actually playing in the game. Because again, I'm not really sure what the experience share mod is going to do because it's a new mod for me. All the other mods don't really have any effect of what we are in the game right now. But also, it's around Christmas, so all of the characters that we will be seeing tomorrow night at 9 p.m. starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, will, of course, be dressed in their Christmas gear. So we'll be able to go in the dungeon all dressed up as various Santas and reindeers and such. So that'll be cute and fun. And then as soon as we beat that dungeon, it will jump till December 26th, or 25th, I believe. 25th or 26th, I can't remember. And we will eat Christmas cake with our in-game girlfriend, which is going to be fun. That's going to be fun to do. And then we'll keep playing the game, and I don't know where we're going to go from there. But that's tomorrow night. So check that out. I'm now going to read what y'all have been writing in here. John says, you're in a few episodes of Frieren. Hell yeah, Frieren rules. It's my second favorite anime of 2023. Playing Persona 5 Tactica still. Nice, and you're on the second manga volume of your fifth anime of 2023. That's right, you said you were reading Oshinoko. I would say, remember all of the fucking nonsense of the beginning of that manga? The 90-minute pilot episode that gets through a lot of that is still fucking wild to watch, even if you're not, if you don't necessarily like to mix and match. Beyond the fact that the music is kind of fun to see, see the performances come to life, that pilot is still fucking wild to watch, to just go through the motions of it. So it might be something you want to check out. Lastberg says, I'm still plugging through Dressrosa. Got less than 400 episodes until I'm caught up, and then I'll have no idea if I'm going to watch weekly or not. So, again, Dressrosa, very long. Is tough. But some of those characters are very cool. Some of the weird nonsense characters that are just in there among the fighting and the tournaments turn out to be pretty fun and pretty cool. And then also, just remember, at some point in there, you're going to get Zoro at maybe his fucking coolest. There's I think a very good argument that Dressrosa Zoro is the best version of Zoro. He's great in Wano because he's a fucking he's a Ronin samurai in the samurai place. But holy shit, he's pretty cool in he's pretty fucking cool in Dressrosa. So look forward to that. And also the minor characters are fun. Laura Crashing says, I finished up one of the events I was working on in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Nice. And started on their holiday event, which involves deliveries where you go into portals in the Winter Wonderland. Okay. Euro Truck Sim. What are you doing? With lots of snow and a handful of Santa adjacent businesses that have stuff to deliver, and receive that is pretty cool. Receive, that's pretty cool. That does sound cool. That seems above and beyond and weird in a way that I'm on board with. That's wild. Hell yeah. That's cool, Lord Crashes it. David says, I finished watching Samurai Gourmet recently, and it left me hankering for Japanese food. Yeah, sometimes that they'll get you that way. Sometimes they will get you. The Christmas episode of today's menu for Emiya family, something like that. The weird offshoot in the Fate series that is just a cute show about the characters cooking. There's a very fun Christmas episode of that one where it makes me very, very hungry for a Japanese vibes of Christmas. It's very good. John says, I may go back and watch the show after this, or at least give the pilot a watch then. I think you should, even if you don't want to watch the whole anime, watch the pilot, because it's wild to see it. Because I knew that this 90-minute pilot was going to get buck wild. I was aware. I wasn't necessarily aware of everything, because I hadn't read Oshinoko before the manga, or before the anime started. But I did know that I was in for a wild time. And I was not prepared for where this thing was going and the twists along the way. I was not ready for it. Lashberg says, I'm at the firework factory, as you would say. I think Luffy is about to actually fight Don Flamingo. It's not the longest. There's a lot that happens, but I don't know. I like Law in Dressrosa. I think Law has a lot of good shit going on in that. There's some good character work. There's some fun nonsense. I mean, we get, inarguably, to me anyway, the coolest member of the Navy is in this. Dressrosa introduces the coolest Navy character since Garp, I guess. Yeah, the coolest Navy character since Garp, I would say. Because I don't count Colby as cool. Colby grows up into something interesting somehow. Somehow Colby gets interesting. But Garp is, great. And then, yeah, we got introduced to pretty fucking cool dude. All right, we're just going to assemble that partially there. Law having to deal with Luffy is always a hoot. Yes. Law is surrounded by dumbasses. Because even the characters who seem reasonable are goofs. Every member of the Straw Hat Pirates are goofs, except for Nami. But Nami doesn't interact with Law all that often. Nami is the most reasonable member of the Straw Hat Pirates who's just greedy. But every one of the Straw Hats is just there to give him a hard time. He cannot relate. All right, we are going to wrap up the stream tonight. I want to thank everyone for spending some time with me here on the stream, for hanging out. We are going to go on a raid. That is how we end every stream around here, is we always go hang out with somebody else, because I'm blessed to have people raid me. And so the least we can do is to go give them a raid. So we're going to go see what people are up to. We always end with a raid, as John says. I know Mary Kish is not streaming tonight because of the, generally it's Merry Mondays, and we raid Mary Kish, but she was, we did raid her on Saturday for some weird arguments that were fun. Let's see, how long has this person been streaming? Because sometimes they stream. Okay, they have been streaming for 10 hours. I have no idea how long my friend Liz is going to stream, but I feel like she's almost at 11 hours, and I don't want to go raid her because I just don't. That's a weird thing to say, that I don't want to encourage her, but I kind of don't want to. Let's raid Liz. Maybe. I don't know how long we're going to hang out with Liz, but we're going to go raid Liz, I guess, because I don't know how long Liz is going to be doing it, but sure. Yes, Lord Crashton says somehow not available to stream after an 8+ hour stream on Saturday night. Yeah, somehow Mary not streaming. We're going to raid Liz, who's been going for a very long time. Who knows? Maybe Liz was showing something and not streaming all these, not actually talking for all of these hours, but maybe we can, hang out with Liz before she ends up eventually stopping her stream. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I hope you come back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, for Persona 4 Golden with mods. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.